What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which is absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We actually got one pick wrong and got 22 right, which is a 98% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 98% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 98% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure you join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,035 just yesterday, and another member who won $193 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Monster the Sage, who said I won cause you good looking out my boy, so shouts out to him. Shouts out to Tulu Baby 24 Q7N, who said my boy loves these great players. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick, and when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is none other than Sabrina Ionescu, and this one is for 5.5 assists, and this one actually is for more. Now, looking at Sabrina Ionescu, we actually do know that she's actually gone on the over in 4 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at these 5 games, we do know August 22nd actually faced off against Chicago Sky, had 2 assists there. After that, faced off against Connecticut Sun on August 26th. Also in that matchup actually had 9 assists against Connecticut Sun. Then September 10th faced off against Washington Mystics, had 9 assists. Then 11 assists against Chicago on September 12th, and then 7 assists against Phoenix Mercury on September 15th. So we have seen Sabrina Ionescu actually do a fantastic job over the last 5 games. But what we also do know when it comes to this matchup, we do know it is playoff time, and New York Liberty face off against Phoenix Mercury. Now, obviously, there will be some of these picks that overlap with each other, as there are only a couple of playoff games, but looking at this matchup, we do know New York Liberty face off against Phoenix Mercury, and looking at both these teams, New York Liberty actually currently are up 1-0 in the series. Now, when we look at Sabrina Ionescu and Liberty, we do know New York come in at the 5th spot in the WNBA. Not only do they have the 5th spot in the WNBA, but they also rank 2nd in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 27 wins and 17 losses. That's a 61.4% win percentage, and on top of that, they are 17-5 from home, 10-12 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. Now, they face off against none other than Phoenix Mercury, where Phoenix Mercury do come in at the 4th spot in the WNBA. And on top of that, they also rank 3rd in the Western Conference. Now, when we actually look at this one's an interesting one because Mercury have a record of 27 wins and 17 losses. So the exact same record as Liberty there. On top of that, they are 15-7 from home, 12-10 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So it is pretty interesting to see, obviously looking at New York Liberty and Phoenix Mercury, looking at where both these teams do actually lie. Looking at Mercury defensively, we do know when it comes to assists allowed, we actually do see Phoenix Mercury come in at the 4th spot. Now, they are currently tied 4th, but this was during the regular season as well. Now, when we actually look at Phoenix Mercury against New York Liberty, especially in their first game against each other, we actually did see Phoenix really struggle, especially against Liberty and specifically against Sabrina, as Mercury actually really did struggle at, restricting assists to New York Liberty in general, but also specifically Sabrina Ionescu. Now, a big reason for this is that Liberty do like to push the ball. You know, they like to push the pace, and because of that pace, it's definitely a little bit higher pace than what Mercury is used to, and that's why coming into that game one, we actually did see Sabrina be able to take advantage of it and actually go on the over. So, although Mercury did actually, you know, rank pretty well when it came to assists allowed over, you know, the regular season, now that it is playoff time, teams are, you know, really coming up with strategies left, right, and center. It definitely does put it in a very, very different situation. So that's why coming into this one, we do very, very much actually still like the over for this situation for someone like Sabrina. Now, when we look at our average over the last 5, it's also 7.6. So Sabrina's usage rate out there in the assist department has remained very high, and that's why we do very, very much like the over for this one. So Sabrina Ionescu, 5.5 assists, 4 more, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Veronica Burton. So, Veronica Burton, great player. This one is actually for 4.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Veronica, we actually have seen her go on the under in actually 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at these 5 games, we see on September 5th, faced off against Dallas, had 3 rebounds there. Then, September 7th, faced off against Minnesota, had 6 rebounds there. Then, September 10th, faced off against Seattle, had 2 rebounds. And September 12th, faced off against Minnesota, had 3 rebounds in that matchup. And then 5 rebounds against Minnesota Lynx again on September 15th. Now, as you all know, Veronica Burton is a great player for none other than obviously Golden State Valkyries. And they do find themselves in a very, very good matchup against Minnesota Lynx. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting matchup between both of these teams. Now, obviously, looking at this series so far, we do know Minnesota Lynx are currently up in the series 1-0. The Golden State Valkyries are looking to push things and, you know, to try to tie it up. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know when it comes to actually, you know, Veronica Burton and Golden State Valkyries, looking at where they ranked, we did see Valkyries come in at the 8th spot in the WNBA. Not only did they rank 8th in the WNBA, but on top of that, we also did see when it came to actually, you know, Valkyries, they had a record of 23 wins and 21 losses, as a 52.3% win percentage, and on top of that, they are 14-8 from home, 9-13 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So it is pretty interesting to see. And on top of that, we also do know when it comes to Veronica Burton and also the Valkyries matchup, they face off against Lynx, who do rank number 1 not only in the WNBA but also rank number 1 in the Western Conference as well. So Minnesota Lynx have been on an absolute tear. They have a record of 34 wins and 10 losses. That's a 77.3% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 10-2 from home, 14-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So it is pretty interesting to see there. Now, obviously, looking at this matchup, we do also know when it comes to Valkyries and Lynx, we do actually see that looking at both these teams, and especially Minnesota defensively, Minnesota Lynx do rank 4th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So Lynx actually do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds, and we definitely did see them do a fantastic job there. Now, coming into this one, we do very, very much still like the under for this situation due to the fact that Minnesota Lynx do a great job at restricting that. And on top of that, we also do know when it comes to Golden State Valkyries and the matchup against Minnesota, we have seen them play game 1, and obviously Veronica did actually go on the over in that first game. But as I've always mentioned, there will be times where players do beat what their probable outcome is. That was definitely one of those games, because we actually did see on September 12th, just their game before against Lynx as well, we actually did see her go on the under. So we do believe that first matchup, we definitely saw a little bit of a different side of Minnesota Lynx. They didn't really focus on restricting her that much in that first game of the playoffs, but we are expecting them to go back and do what they do best, which is restricting rebounds in general. So, we are definitely expecting the under for this situation. Minnesota are probably going to make adjustments, and we should see those adjustments, pay off greatly for Veronica. So when you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have favored for the under as well. So Veronica Burton, 4.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting to the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Courtney Williams. So Courtney Williams, great player as we all know, and this one is actually for 12.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Courtney Williams, we actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one's an interesting one because we have actually seen when it comes to Courtney Williams, we have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 as we mentioned, but looking at the last 5, we did see September 5th actually faced off against Las Vegas Aces, had 14 points there. After that, September 7th faced off against none other than Golden State Valkyries, had 14 points, then 8 points against Indiana on September 10th. Then after that, on September 12th against Golden State Valkyries, had 6 points there, and 11 points against Golden State Valkyries on September 15th. So pretty interesting to see. Obviously, looking at Minnesota Lynx and the Golden State Valkyries matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one for sure. But looking at this matchup more in depth, we do know when it comes to actually Courtney Williams, we do actually see that, Courtney Williams and Minnesota Lynx face off against the Valkyries. Now, we have already touched on where they do rank, but just to quickly remind you again, Minnesota Lynx do rank first in the WNBA. Now, they actually have a record of 34 wins and 10 losses, but over the last 10 during the regular season, they actually had a record of 6-4. Then Valkyries actually had a record that put them in the 8th spot in the WNBA. They had a record of 23 wins and 21 losses. Now, they actually had a 14-8 home record, 9-13 away record, but over the last 10 actually had a record of 5-5. But looking at Valkyries defensively, when it comes to points, we do actually know Valkyries do rank when it comes to points allowed during the regular season. They actually rank number 1. And that is a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely are expecting the under for this situation for someone like Courtney Williams, and we definitely see her going on the under in this one. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. Now, looking at someone like Courtney Williams as well, we also have seen in, some of the most recent games, September 12th faced off against Valkyries, had 6 points there. September 15th had 11 points, so has actually gone on the under in those 2 most recent ones, and we are expecting her to kind of have a similar outcome as well. On top of this, a big reason for this is that Courtney Williams doesn't really have the highest usage rate for this team as well, so we are expecting other players in this actual matchup to do a lot more of the heavy lifting in the points department, and we could see Courtney Williams take a little bit more of that sort of, I would say, not really that leadership role, more of a supporting act. So for that reason, definitely do like the under for this one. When you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also are favored for the under as well. So Courtney Williams, 12.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick.